What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Laughing here, and today we are going to talk about some juicy, or you could even say some saucy Battlefield 6 teases and leaks. So, we do have some unconfirmed sources of what Battlefield 6 looks like, and the Battlefield Twitter account is absolutely just teasing us on Twitter right now. But before I get into it, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It super helps us out here and helps us grow. And if you don't mind even sharing that video too, extra bonus points. So getting kind of right into it. So as of right now, Battlefield 6, all we know is that it is coming out this year, later 2021. This was confirmed on last year's investor call with EA. So we are thinking, kind of as a Battlefield community, that we're going to hear some more soon, potentially get a teaser trailer at some point in the relative future. And there is an upcoming investors call on May 11th, which we usually find out some stuff. Some things either get teased via trailers or officially announced slightly before these sort of investor calls. So there's a good chance in the next month or so we are gonna find out some more info, which is super exciting. But for right now, all we have is little teases that are sprinkling out there and some potential leaks. So the first thing we have today is from Robert Serrano on Twitter. They're a business analyst, web tech project specialist, and apparently former PR and chief editor at 4 News. So they tweeted #Battlefield, Modern Warfare, large scale and close quarters battles from 16 up to 128 players. A battle royale, free to play early 2022. Soldiers, weapons, vehicle customization, next level destruction, stunning visual effects, Frostbite engine, release fall 2021. And then it has a little asterisk there, PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X for the up to 128 players portion of that. And then Battlefield underneath that. So I'll be honest with you, looking at this tweet, I could probably tell you half of this of what's going to be in Battlefield 6 just in general. Modern Warfare is kind of a rumor that's flying around there, but it's been a pretty prevalent one, which I'll kind of talk about that in a minute here. Large scale and close quarter battles. Battlefield's been known for this for a long time. 16 up to 128 players, not super surprised. 128 players would be really cool. I think the most we've gotten, I believe, is 60 in Battlefield right now, so that would be more than doubling it, which would be really cool to see. A free-to-play battle royale in 2022. Not surprised. That's not common knowledge, to be honest with you. So I'll give them credit on that if that ends up being true. But like I said, I won't really be surprised. Battlefield 5's Battle Royale Firestorm didn't really pan out very well, mostly due to a kind of failed launch of Battlefield 5. So it would not surprise me if they try to kind of relaunch that and try to capture that lightning in a bottle that Call of Duty has gotten with their battle royale. Soldiers, weapons, vehicle customization, not surprising. That's always really been in Battlefield. Next level destruction, stunning visual effects, Frostbite engine release fall 2021. All things that we can kind of expect and or we already know about the next Battlefield game. So, what did Battlefield do? They're absolutely trolling us at this point. So Battlefield tweeted, #spaghetti, noodly, slippery, good with sauce, good with garlic bread, is spaghetti, can be used as a decoration, always available, asterisk, always available as spaghetti, and then in Battlefield font, spaghetti. Just making fun of us, which is pretty funny. So the weird thing is they don't go around doing this all that often. I kind of took a quick look at their page. It's mostly them just kind of retweeting stuff that other users have done, like gameplay or saying like, hey, Battlefield rocks, or various kind of events that are going on in some of the DICE games or Battlefield games they have going on. Nothing really like this, so it's kind of weird that they actually responded to, I guess, what could be considered a Battlefield kind of leak. It wasn't anything like super in depth or specific, I suppose. So maybe That's why Robert kind of got away with it. We did actually have a Twitter user earlier in the year get straight banned from Twitter and taken down because of some allegedly correct Battlefield leaks for the Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty, I believe, as well, which we'll kind of touch on him right now. So that Twitter user is actually Tom Henderson. He tweeted earlier this year, kind of talking about some of the things we can come to expect for the next Battlefield, and his tweets were actually taken down, which kind of led some credence to a lot of things that he's saying. I know it's not usually the intended effect, it's the Streisand effect, if you will, but if you have someone on social media saying, hey, this is what the next game's gonna be, I'm leaking this out to the public, and then that company, in this case EA, goes out of their way to take down those tweets. It does kind of the exact opposite of trying to bury that. If anything, it makes it much worse, thus the Streisand effect. So kind of weird that happened, but he's no longer on Twitter, but he does have now a newsletter, a custom newsletter that he has called the Gone Gold newsletter. And this is how he is now kind of getting out this Battlefield knowledge as well. And Tom Henderson, he's not just done Battlefield leaks, he's also done some Call of Duty leaks as well. He's considered fairly reliable at this point. So getting right into his newsletter, which is kind of the bulk of the info today. So Tom Henderson says this year's Battlefield title will simply be called Battlefield. Per sources, I can confirm that the next Battlefield installment will simply be called Battlefield and takes place around 10 years from now. The title is set in a modern such very near future, which gives the developers a chance to be able to implement weapons and vehicles that are currently in military development today. So kind of exciting with that. And to be honest, when we have these modern warfare games, a lot of the kind of modern day technology that's shown in them, and like for instance Modern Warfare is actually kind of old at this point. Like a lot of things, technology and military that us civilians really know a lot about have been in service for years now, like the A-10 Warthog, for instance. I think they've been talking about retiring that thing for a while now. Just the M4 as well, that thing has been in military use forever. And we're finally getting like guns like the M19, which is the replacement for the M9, finally in more modern shooters, because the M9 has been in these Modern Warfare games forever now. So not super surprising. And I think that actually does bring some credence to having it be more like a modern warfare, because even though they're not, as civilians and as game developers, they don't know for sure what the next generation, or I guess this generation's weapons are gonna be. We can take some creative liberties and guesses. So I think this is actually a really cool approach that they're taking. The setting is very similar to how the Call of Duty franchise released Black Ops 2 in 2012, with the game being set in 2025, so 10 to 15 years from its release date. So yes, expect military robots, drones, jets, helicopters, tanks, that sort of thing. The game is not a hub for all Battlefield titles, as a recent Reddit leak claims. So kind of exciting. We're hopefully going to have a lot of really cool toys to play with in Battlefield. I look forward to kind of seeing how that affects the massive warfare scale that Battlefield's really known. And I look forward to them getting more kind of back to that. So I think there'll be kind of really interesting elements that they can implement, whether it be kind of looking through walls, different just traps for your enemies, weapons, what have you. I think that can be a really interesting thing that they can explore. The game will feature a revolutionary campaign compared to other previous installments. The campaign will focus on you and your specialist unit, where you'll be able to choose which superpower you fight for. In Battlefield, there isn't necessarily Axis and allies. You'll be able to choose your own path. Both the US and Russia, who are the game's only standing superpowers, will offer to recruit your specialist team and their skills throughout the campaign, which will be a valuable asset to both sides. It would also appear like this year's campaign is a co-op experience. So kind of interesting. It sounds like the campaign, if he is correct, you're kind of like a mercenary group for the most part, but very specialized, and both sides kind of want you on their side. I do find it kind of weird or interesting that you could side with Russia and play the entire campaign basically fighting the USA. I find that really interesting. We don't really see that usually in games all that often these days, especially on the Modern Warfare side. So I'd say if so far, if there anything that he's posted that I'm kind of half and half on, it would be that. I don't know, might be kind of a weird thing. I don't necessarily have an issue with you fighting USA in the campaign necessarily. If it's a good story and there's some good story elements to that. But that is a bold move, and if that ends up being true, we'll see how that plays out for sure. And kind of the cool thing is there being a co-op experience with that, which that part I really dig. Because co-op is so forgotten in so many games these days, which really makes me sad. So I'm really happy to see more and more developers implementing more co-op elements. Fingers crossed for more, couch co-op deal, but even kind of just online co-op. I'm a fan of that, especially in a campaign. I can also confirm that it would appear that the reveal trailer for Battlefield will not feature any gameplay nor multiplayer and will be somewhat similar to the beginning of the Battlefield 5 reveal trailer, which is something I'm sure we'll all be a little upset about. Understandable. If you don't remember, the Battlefield 5 trailer had a lot of kind of hate in general. There's a lot of things that a lot of World War II enthusiasts and it just people who are fans of that time period didn't like. This kind of more of a fantasy style, if you will, of World War II, and that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I'm kind of whatever on it. Battlefield 5 didn't seem all that super interesting to me, which is kind of weird because I'm actually a really big fan of the Battlefield franchise. I did buy it, I did play it. I think it's probably the weakest Battlefield game I've played since Hardline, to be honest. This doesn't surprise me hearing about the trailer. It's kind of, I feel like the industry's go-to thing at this point of, hey, we're gonna have a cool cinematic trailer, get our claws in this players, build up that hype, and then down the line, we're gonna release a gameplay trailer. That's just kind of par for the course these days. That doesn't surprise me, and yeah, I do think this part is going to be right. Whether or not he's actually leaking info or not, I do think that's going to be right, kind of regardless. That just seems to be the industry trend right now. But moving on to multiplayer. Multiplayer will feature bigger and better battles and is described as Battlefield 3/4 on steroids. Yes. Yes. Those are my two favorite Battlefield games. I know I'm not alone with that. I played Battlefield 4 so much. I had an Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Played all the DLC for that. I love Battlefield 4. It is such a good game. And if they come anywhere close to Battlefield 4, they're going to sell bundles of copies. That is for sure. And it'll just be awesome. So really hoping that is the case. They're getting more back to their roots of Battlefield. So that really, really excites me. There's also going to be a battle royale also on the way at some point, more than likely 2022. Kind of, I guess, what the guy who tweeted before, that wouldn't really surprise me. The whole battle royale experience makes sense. I mean, Warzone is making Call of Duty a crap ton of money. It is stupid how much money that they make with Warzone. I think DICE and EA would be stupid not to try to do that. And I think Firestorm, which is kind of a flop, not necessarily because the game mode itself was bad, but because of the poor reception of Battlefield 5, where it sounds like this Battlefield game, they're going more true to form, doing more of what the fans kind of want and like. And so I think that them launching a battle royale with this is a smart business move by them. For me personally, I'm not a fan of battle royales. I've played Warzone a total of maybe 3 times. It's interesting. It's cool. I know that there's definitely a big audience for that. Just kind of not my cup of tea. So this kind of info, I'll be honest, I don't really care about. But for those of you who are interested in battle royales, hopefully this is good news. More competitive battle royales, in my opinion, is always better to kind of up that sort of game genre. I mean, just looking at Apex Legends, which is also made by an EA-owned studio, that definitely helped move that franchise forward with the whole pinging system. So, hey, I'm really kind of curious to see what the Battlefield franchise can do to move forward that genre of game style as well. Back to the newsletter, the Battle Royale experience will be completely disconnected from the Firestorm name and instead will adopt a new name. That makes a lot of sense, probably for obvious reasons. Players will be able to play as the 4 different types of soldiers, but instead of having unique gadgets, players will also have different abilities, which are similar to the Call of Duty perks. For example, a scout soldier might have silent footsteps, whereas a assault soldier might be able to sprint for a longer duration. For the moment, that is all on Battlefield. Looking forward to seeing the trailer around May, which I expected to be around then. If I had to take a guess, it'll be in the first week of May. If I had to take just kind of a shot in the dark, feel that lines up with previous announcements that EA's done in the past. Pretty sure they did something similar with actually the full release of Apex Legends. They did it like a few days before their big investor call and just kind of be like, hey guys, we just launched a huge game. What up? So yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I, for one, am super excited for the next Battlefield game, whether it's called Battlefield 6, Battlefield, or Battlefield woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Probably gonna buy it at launch. Super duper excited, that is for sure. But tell me down in the comments down below, what are you excited for the next Battlefield? Do you think that this leaker is correct on what's going to be in the next Battlefield game, or do you think he's totally wrong? Just also kind of remember in general, big pinches of salt with any sort of leaks or rumors with this. We won't know until the game's officially announced and sometimes even officially released. So, but yeah, tell me what you guys think down in the comments. For more Battlefield news going forward, because I will be covering the next Battlefield game extensively going forward, please hit that subscribe button for more content like this going forward. I do want to say thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day and do something good for yourself. Take care.